Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner?
Happy Monday. Well, this television producing is something. Here, I'm here to tell you. Hope everybody's doing fine. Hope we had a great weekend. I am your host, Janice Carter Miller, and welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And the guest for tonight is going to be you. Because I need you to come to dinner. I need you to come to dinner on a regular basis every Monday and every Friday at 7 p.m. Why do I say that? Because I have wonderful guests on this show. And, you know, there's a saying about throwing pearls to the swine. You don't want to just have wonderful guests and no one is watching them. And if you're watching, you don't let us know you're watching. So check this out. Today, I'm trying to find out who's watching. So now I'm checking on you today. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm going to share the show right now with my personal Facebook page. Okay. You know, there's one little young lady. She has a
Share the show.
Okay. I got to turn this down. I can't listen to everything I'm saying because it'll start echoing. You know what I mean? And if you're watching the show on Facebook, I need you to say something to me. Make a comment. Hey, JC, I see your name. I might get to do shout outs, but right now, I just want you to say something. You know, like they say, if you see something, say something. So if you're seeing something on your Facebook page or YouTube or Roku, okay, all these can be found at Jantastic Productions. If you'll see, here's my little logo, Jantastic Productions. I need you to say something because I got to find out where my audience is. Because people are telling me, you know, you had a good show. I saw so-and-so, but they don't like, they don't share, they haven't subscribed. And if you haven't done that, I really need you to do that because I do put some time and effort into bringing you as much information about a plethora of different things going on in this city. And I also, on occasion, give you my opinion about those things going on. You know, that's what it is. My opinion. My show, my opinion. That's all it is. But it's good if we can interact. So today I'm going to post this right now. Okay. And if you're watching me, I'm going to be looking to see who is who's on with me, so I can talk to some folks. I can see who's watching, who's listening, who is concerned, who likes what we're doing. If you don't like what we're doing, I'm not really concerned about your comments. But I'm just going to start talking about some of the events that have been going on and are going on in the city. And you can talk to me and let me know you're there. If you're on Facebook, talk to me, say hello in a chat. I just need to know that people are watching the show because I am reaching out to a lot of different folks to come on this show and have a presence in the city. They get for you to hear their voice. There's a lot of people that don't get a lot of television time, a lot of radio time. They don't get a lot of promotion in the newspaper, in print, but they're doing some heavy lifting in the city. And so those are the types of people that I'm bringing. I want to do a big thing this over the summer to try to help Black businesses because I think they need a push. I'd like to give them a push because I know a little bit about marketing. So I will be reaching out to mom and pop businesses, businesses that have maybe under 10 employees to be able to promote their business on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to see how that works. It's going to take me, baby, about a month or two to get everybody on board and then to film a clip that every time I do my show, this show, there will be a promotion for somebody else's business. So when I say help me help you, help me help you, I'm not only going to talk the talk, I plan to walk the walk. Can you help me? Okay, so first I'm going to start out while I'm waiting to see who chimes in. You know, if you're there, talk to me. I'm just getting ready to say hello, world. Holla. Okay. Because I need to get numbers. In order to get numbers, you know, you have to have people watching your show and participating. You know, not just my family, but I love my family. And I love that my family is supportive of me. But today I'm just trying to see who's out there on this particular Monday. You didn't know I was going to do it, so maybe it's not what you expected. But this is something that I need to do to make sure that I'm not throwing pearls to the swine. Can you feel me? So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is we'll talk about politics first. You know, I like politics. So last week, around this time, we were getting ready for our elections. And so we had the elections. And so the Democratic candidate running for mayor in the city of Louisville is Mr. Greenberg. Everybody had a decent showing. But Mr. Greenberg is the Democratic candidate for mayor. That election takes place in November. He will be running against Mr. Bill Deeroff, who was the mayor of J-Town, and I guess he's resigning at his post because it looked like they were having a mayoral election in J-Town to take his place. Okay. So Miss Keisha Dorsey, she got her seat back, and so did Miss Donna Purvis. And I don't know exactly what's happening with District 1. That's the seat that now Judge Jessica Green vacated that seat to take on her judgeship. And there was a runoff. There were several people running for that council seat. So there was they had a few little altercations and court cases and ineligibilities, things of that nature. So I don't know what's up in the air with that one. We had Morgan McHarvey, I think that's his name, running for Congress. Now he's running. Now that's John Yarmouth's seat. He ran against Attica Scott, and so he got the Democratic. He's the Democratic candidate for Congress. And that's the seat that Congressman John Yarmouth has had for several years and did a fabulous job. Brought a lot of money to Louisville, especially money for veterans. He was very out front with his work that he did for veterans, working on the new hospital. It's going up somewhere. He got the funds. It was just trying to find a place in the community where the community wants the hospital to be. So we're going to miss him. He was a high-ranking congressman. He wasn't just there and had a seat. He had a seat on committees. He headed up a committee. So this is what we need our Congress people to do, and also to keep Kentucky in their purview. So the next person I'm going to talking about Congress, is we applaud Mr. Charles Booker, because he is also the Democratic candidate for Congress running against Rand Paul. We must beat Rand Paul. You know what I'm saying? That's just all it is to it. That's one way to take 50 to 51. If you hear me, that's another way. That's a real sure way to move 50 into 51 so we can have the majority. I'm talking about Democrats. If you're not a Democrat, then maybe I ain't talking to you. But the Democrats need 51 votes in order to pass their agendas. Okay. And one of those agendas should truly be have the voting rights statute reinstated that was taken out, that was voted out under that other administration. I can't even say their name, So if you're out there, talk to me. I'm trying to talk to my audience today. So I'm trying to see if my audience is going to talk back to me. Isn't that right, Jack Miller? But this is very important. I've been doing this for a year and a half. And I don't come on and say, hit that button, like us, share. And I'm waiting for you to come on and subscribe. If you're watching me, just say so. Push the button. Be supportive. Don't cost you nothing. But I need numbers so that I can continue and I can grow this to be something a little bit more than what it is right now, because that's what I envision in my mind. And I know with the help, and you don't have to just be in Louisville. Let's get this clear. I talk about worldly things, global. I speak French and talk to my friends in Paris on occasion. I talk to my friends up in New York. I talk to my Kentucky State alumni, which are all over the country. I talk to my Las Vegas crew. What's up, Las Vegas? You know what I'm saying? I talk to my family out in California. So I have followers everywhere. But I also need these followers that are everywhere to let me know you're listening. Let me know you're watching. You can even let me know that you enjoy some of the conversations. A lot of the conversations are very interesting. And they're informational. I want to be a resource that if we need to know about something, that I should be able to share that information with you on a weekly basis. Yes, I'd like to come up. I'm coming on behind in the footsteps of Soledad, and I have to say Trevor Noah, because I love me some Trevor Noah, because he's a very smart young man. And I love the work that Soledad does, on matter of fact. So we can be that kind of resource for you, that informational, magazine-oriented, global, information-packed conversation. And it's a conversation that we have at dinner. at dinner time. We come on at 7 o'clock. Dinner time. Most places. By then, if you haven't started dinner, you're halfway through with dinner, but it's dinner time. Okay. So as you can see, nobody said anything yet. If you're watching, I need to know you're watching. Yeah, I don't know why that's not happening on there.
To act.
Okay.
So today I am.
I don't need to hear my voice. I just need to see if, okay, I'm going backwards now. Okay. Okay. Now I can see if somebody is talking to me. Okay. Okay, so we talked about the politics. Don't forget, we have come November. And not just in Louisville, Kentucky. We need to be supportive financially to Miss Stacey Abrams down in Georgia. You know, sister needs some help. She needs a push up over the finish line, you know, because she needs to be the governor of Georgia. Okay. Oh, I'm having a problem in my seat. All right. So we're still looking to see if there's anybody out there watching. Guess who's coming to dinner? Say something to me. Talk to me. I'm looking. Okay. I'm moving on from politics. I'm moving from politics to sports. Go Warriors, go. Steph Curry. Look, and even my boy Looney. I must tell you, it was a treat watching this young man because he has put in the work. I call him, he reminds me of Robert Parrish because he's big and he runs kind of clunky. So my new name for Looney is Slow Motion, but he's steady. He's steady. And a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about that Mike Brown was asking Draymond and Steph who they wanted to start. And they said Looney because he's put in the work. You can depend on him. Doesn't have a lot of numbers, but here recently, brother man been getting down. Okay? And last night, I have to say, the game belonged to Wiggins. Oh, yes. But it was a magnificent display of basketball last night, if I say so myself. So, as you can see, I am a Warriors fan. Been watching Steph Curry since Davidson. When my mother gave him a name, we used to call him Little Junior. So Little Junior been getting down, but now we call him Steph. Because he and Clay are definitely slash brothers. So I'm rooting for the Warriors. I'm rooting for Miami because my husband's from Miami. But I don't know. We'll see about that one. That was a little iffy. But they playing tough. They playing strong now. I love basketball. You know, basketball is in my blood. I come from a basketball city. Louisville is definitely a basketball city. I'm the co-founder of the Dirt Bowl, playground basketball tournament that's been around Louisville now for 50 years. Okay? So I love basketball. And I used to play. I didn't, I wasn't outstanding, but I had a wonderful time. I had more fun than I did trying to have any stats that meant anything. I was a little point guard up at Kentucky State. And I was the basketball coach at Jesse Stewart the first year that I taught school, the girls' basketball coach. So I dabbled a little bit. And on that note, I still would like to do a shout out to our new coach at U of L, Mr. Kenny Payne. Welcome back home, really. You know, you slipped through our fingers for a few years, but welcome back home. Glad to have you. Is anybody talking to me? See, this is what I'm saying. So maybe nobody's watching today. It's very interesting. Maybe watching on YouTube. I don't know how to pull up my YouTube channel while I'm doing this. Maybe I can and share it. Just hold on for a second while I try something. I got to see if I can do that. You might still be able to hear me talk, but okay. So here we go here. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now see, this is, I'm going to show you how well I'm either doing this or not doing it. Now see, this is, I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm back over here. How well I'm either doing this or not doing it. Now see, this is, I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to take that out because that's not what I want to do. So anyway, so what I'm trying to do, let me tell you a little bit more about what I plan to do about promoting Black businesses on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. A lot of businesses, especially small minority businesses, don't have the budgets or the finances to advertise on radio or on television. Television is more costly than radio. Radio is a very good avenue on which to advertise. I used to do, I was a marketing person for radio stations when I lived in Las Vegas. Radio is a fabulous way to advertise. But nowadays, people have so many different means of information, of getting information out and receiving information. Most people don't, I don't know, well, I won't say most, but now you have, along with your regular radio stations, you have satellite. A lot of people have satellite in their car. They have Sirius. I listen to a lot of Sirius FM myself. But this little device right here, everybody's got one in their hands. So this is the best way now for people to know about your business, see what your business offers, and find out how to reach your business. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be soliciting all the people that have been on my show to support the show if they are in business, because a lot of people they're running organizations. I'll take organizations. They can come on. You know, we might have a segment where an organization might come on and tell us about the events that they have coming up, things of that nature. I've got some ideas, but I can't tell all my ideas because I don't want nobody to take my ideas, but they're not new. My ideas are not new about marketing. But in this social media space, you have to be creative. You have to do some things that aren't normally done. And you got to step out on faith. I started this show. I stepped out on faith. My husband and I, he sat down. He said, this is what the Lord has given us. So let's go. So here we are today. So I'm just trying to see who's here saying something to me. Girl, you a sweetheart. That's my sister-in-law, Teresa Miller. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. I'm just trying to see if the rest of the family show up. But if you watch the show, you have to hit the like button, because it's a thing called analytics. I know you've heard people talk about algorithms. Well, your analytics, or your numbers, help deal with the algorithms on social media that boost you to another level, that take you up. So if you're watching me and you're enjoying me, you need to share this show with other people. So if one tells one, then I've got two. If two tell two, then I've got four. So this is how we're going to work it. But I just thought I would come and talk to you today because I just want to make sure that I wasn't up here talking to myself. Because there's information that's been shared on this show. And I know people have been watching because when I'm out and about, people tell me about, that they watched the show, or somebody will call me and say they enjoyed the show, or, I get it from, but I'm trying to see what's happening on a day like today on a Monday at 7 p.m. in real time. Who's checking out? Guess who's coming to dinner? Because this will make me either rethink. It probably won't make me quit, but it'll make me rethink my approach. I'm just trying to get in with how having a show on social media works for you. Okay, so it works for you when you get numbers. And when you get numbers, that comes from all your friends, all your family, folks you don't know, pushing the like button, sharing the show with other people, subscribing to YouTube. We have our own Roku channel, and the Roku channel is Jantastic Productions. We've got 2 shows on the Roku channel. We've got 2 shows on Facebook and YouTube. One of them is The Hour of Power with Pastor Jack Miller every Sunday, 5 o'clock. Yes, he will bring you a message, a word from above. Every Sunday, Jack Miller will impart. He will have a sermon or message or a teaching, because he likes to teach. So he's on every Sunday, right on this channel. Jantastic Productions is the name of the production company. My husband, Pastor Jack Miller, every Sunday. And he's been going at this for about a year, almost a year. Are you a year yet, Jack?
Yeah.
You a year? You've been doing your show a year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's been about a year. I'm about a year and a half. But we work together. A family that prays together, stays together. Ain't that right?
That's right.
I love my husband. All right. So if you're watching Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, this is your host, Janice Carter Miller. And I'm asking you to talk to me in the chat box. Say hello. Let me know you're watching. Let me know that what we bring to you has value in your life. I try to make sure it has value in your life. So I'll tell you something that happened this weekend, and you will see it on this Friday after I edit it. I went to MindFest. MindFest was a gathering of clinicians and counselors and therapists and other individuals representing organizations where you could find out information about getting help with your mental issues, with mental anxiety, grief, depression, going through the things, COVID caused a lot of mental problems for individuals, and everybody doesn't talk about it, and everybody doesn't go get help. And especially Black folks, they don't think we need help. And Black folks keep it to themselves, where Black folks need to go get some help. But it was very enlightening. They had panels. I know there were at least maybe 200, 250 people in and out over the course of the day. Could have been more than that. Just when I got there, I know that there was traffic inside the building, inside Roots 101. And I was invited to come down. I had Faith Owens on the show last week talking about Mindfest, and Mr. Lamont Collins opened his doors to let them come in because our community needs some healing. Most communities need some healing. So you can be anywhere in the world, and I'm telling you that if you have some mental issues that you can't cope, then you need to go find some help. And there's no shame in taking care of yourself and finding a way to cope, because COVID threw everybody for a loop. Just think about all the people, especially senior citizens, that lived alone, that were at home alone during COVID and had to stay there alone. That caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. And families have to pay attention to things like that, and if your children are killing each other. So our children need some counseling. Our children's friends are dying. Our children don't know how to cope with death. Death is not an easy thing to cope with. So Mindfest was an event that went on this past Saturday, and it was needed. It was very much needed, and the response and the turnout was tremendous. And I applaud Mr. Collins for opening up his doors to let them come in. It was free of charge. There was no charge to come find out how to deal with what you're thinking. You can't have one-way conversations with yourself. Don't solve a lot of problems that way. You can't fix it all the time. A lot of ways to fix it. And sometimes it's going to seek out help, professional help. So it was called Mindfest. And Norton's Healthcare was there. Miss Kedra was there, and filling out forms because they're going to build a hospital in the West End down on 28th Street. That's going to be a wonderful thing, an absolute wonderful thing to have in our community, is a hospital in the West End where it would take you maybe 5 minutes to get to the hospital, 10 minutes to get to the hospital, instead of having to go all the way downtown to go to the hospital, which might take you 15, 20 minutes and could cost you your life. Just saying. It's so. So is anyone else watching today? I'm not going to stay on here talking to myself all day. I just want to know if you're watching, if you enjoy the show. I'll still be back. Next Monday is Memorial Day. I will be celebrating Memorial Day with the descendants of Eliza Tevis. We're going to be over at the cemetery on Indian Trail and Newburgh. And we're going to sit out and have a fish fry and tell stories and connect the dots to see how we related. Because there's a whole lot of branches that came from that tree, that Eliza Tevis tree. And to know the story of Miss Eliza Tevis. I'll tell you about that one day. I had an interview with one of my newfound relatives, and we talked about Miss Eliza Tevis, who was a slave and who went on to be given land called Newburgh, where she developed a free zone where freed slaves lived, even though she owned slaves. But she owned slaves to save slaves. Now, if you're not treated like a slave, you ain't no slave. But if you treated like a slave, that's a slave. She wasn't nobody's master. She just owned them because that was another way of her gaining her riches or her wealth. And she had wealth, and she shared her wealth. And so I'm proud to say I am a descendant of Eliza Tevis. Okay. So on Monday, we're going to, for Memorial Day, I am going to have a mother-daughter team like no other. That's Miss Teresa Ratliff, and Roslyn Ratliff. Both have been in the armed services. Teresa is retired. She was retired as a major. And her daughter, Roslyn, has now moved up in the ranks as well. She's the commander of a unit. But they're both from Louisville, Kentucky. Teresa was my classmate at Shawnee Junior High. She went on to Aaron's trade school. And we have been friends. She told me that she was my oldest friend. And I do think she's right. Since second, third grade, because she sent me a picture. I fainted. But it's lovely. And she's lovely. Her family's lovely. Her daughter's lovely. And her daughter has followed in her mother's footsteps. That's not the norm. That a daughter follows in a mother's footsteps with a career in the armed services. So next Monday, you'll be able to share my conversation with these cousins. Both of them are glamorous, just as glamorous as they can be. Teresa was Teresa Gordon. That was her maiden name. Howard Gordon's little sister. Okay. We all lived in the West End. We all had a friendship and a bond. I wish kids had that kind of friendships and bonds like we had. You know, they were special. They were special. Look how long they have lasted. So, since nobody else is talking to me, all I'm going to say, if you're watching, all we need you to do is when you come on, just say you like us. So go to the analytics. The analytics can wrap it up, and the algorithms can put us where we need to be so we can move on up the ladder. Okay? It's something when you want to do something good for your community, but you have to have support. You know, just some support. Don't cost you nothing. And so it's dinner time until next Friday. No, Friday. I'll see you Friday at 7 p.m. Oh, yeah, I'll be back. I ain't going nowhere. And you will show up eventually. On that note, I want to say, bon appetit. Guess who's coming to dinner? All right now.